Welcome back to the Automation Podcast. My name is Shawn, and this week on the show, I meet up with Noam Geffen from CaPow to learn about their Genesis Capacitive Power system that can power everything from AMRs to AGVs to even robotic drones.
Noam, thank you for coming on the Automation Podcast. I'm excited to learn all about CaPow's products. But before we jump into that, could you take a minute to introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you so much, Shawn, for having me. Really a pleasure. Really a fan of the show. My name is Noam Geffen. I'm from Israel, from the south of Israel, from a city called Beersheba. I'm an electrical engineer, and I work for CaPow. I'm the VP Business Development and Sales for CaPow, basically handling all outbound traffic towards customers. So it's business development, sales, marketing. I've been working with CaPow since last October, and the company itself exists for already 4 years. We are a startup company based in the south of Israel, a spin-off from the University of Beersheba. And what we do is capacitive power. So the name CaPow is actually a fusion of two words. It's capacitive power. And that's exactly the core essence of our company. This is what we do.
I love the name. It reminds me of comic books from when I was a kid or Batman and Robin shows, but it also makes a lot of sense. And when I saw your press release, I don't know, a couple months ago, I'm like, wow, this is very cool technology. So let you jump right into the presentation.
So yeah, CaPow is the name, Genesis is the name of our product. And basically it all starts when we look at the automation world, and we actually thought for ourselves, well, today's automated solutions, when they are launched, they are already what we call inherently inefficient. So you see in a lot of automation solutions which are deployed, first of all, there is the initial cost gap. Okay, the initial cost is usually very expensive, and then you start chasing it in order to return that. They suffer from support challenges. Some suffer from safety issues. Of course, the race to always reach 100% efficiency is very hard, and then you need to struggle with reduced throughput as well. And when we look at that, we basically see that the root cause for most of those problems is energy. Okay, energy is a huge problem in the industry, and it can be manifested in several different ways. So some will suffer from downtime because of charging. You need to charge your bots frequently. Some will suffer from inflated fleet, and then of course the very heavy burden of the initial cost. Some suffer from actually the real estate problem. So when you need to deploy those solutions, and you deploy also charging mechanism, you lose real estate in the warehouse. So you basically have less place to put your products in, and then basically you suffer from that. Of course, needless to mention safety issues like lithium batteries getting factories burned, okay, and so on and so forth. And we say, okay, what if in a miraculous way, we could basically achieve, first of all, a solution that runs 100% of the time for 100% of the fleet, okay, and you can actually prolong your entire solution's life cycle while at it, okay, and reduce the cost of ownership. And of course, also, which is something which is less talked about, disengage the dependencies on traditionally inefficient power solutions. And this is basically where the thought about the CaPow Genesis came from. And our product is a wireless power delivery ecosystem for moving robots. Okay, and when I'm saying moving robots, I actually mean that. So our product is basically the only one in the market thus far that we know of that is able to power robots while they're on the go, so while they're in motion. Okay, all other power delivery solutions mandate that the robot will stop in order to get powered or to get charged. What we say is that our product is being able, first of all, is able to deliver the power while the robot is doing its own tasks, so no need to bother him. And the power is distributed all the time. Okay, so basically 100% of the fleet works 100% of the time. The integration, and I'll show you later on how can we achieve that. The integration, we spent a lot of time in order for you guys to do the integration very, very quickly and easily, both on the robot part and on the facility part. And the best thing about it is the solution is completely agnostic to the hardware, to the battery type, and the surface. It means that we can run on every kind of robot, okay, AGVs, AMRs, ASRS solutions, shuttle system, drones, what have you. We can work with every kind of battery solution that there is today, lead acid, lithium, supercaps, you name it. Okay, and again, the surface itself, we can work on with floor AGVs, or AMRs, we can work on ones that go vertically. We can go on concrete, on resin deck floor, really doesn't matter. And of course, okay, no dependencies, you control your own destiny. Let me just explain you very shortly how this magic happens. So we'll look at two sides, the robot side and the facility side. On the robot side, we integrate into the robot a small box, okay, which is called the Genesis receiver. Okay, the receiver is a very lightweighted device. Okay, it's around 1/10 of the size and the weight of a normal lithium ion battery. Okay, and it's integrated into the boat in a very smart way that the battery basically looks at that as a CCCV charger, which means I don't need to modify anything, not in the bot itself, and not in the battery itself. I can connect in parallel to that, and I can also, in some cases, replace the battery and omit it completely, okay, and have just our own power solution integrated with a very small, lightweighted supercapacitor solution. Then on the surface of the robot, may it be on the bottom of the robot, on the side, on the top, whatever, we're putting the antennas, okay? An antenna, or in the CaPow lingo, it's called a sticker. It's a very thin and double shielded aluminum foil, the antenna, which basically receives the power from the facility side system and then distributes it into the robot directly into the rail. Okay, again, not changing anything in the layout. On the facility side, we put the same kind of a sticker, okay, on the floor. Okay, it can be completely customized to how the bot looks like. It means it can be narrow, it can be wide, it can be long up to 30 feet, and can be short up to 2 feet. It can be, the robot can take it in between the wheels or can go on top of it. You can see here an example of a shuttle system that can basically, we put the stickers on the rail, all throughout the rails. We even did a very cool application with a drone that basically reads barcodes for inventory inside the warehouse, and then we put this kind of a sticker up on the rail, so the drone never needs to land in order to get charged. So it gets charged while it's in midair, and basically instead of landing every 30 minutes, it lands every 3 months. The sticker itself delivers 500 watts flat, okay, to the robot. Why are we using this number of 500 watts? Because of most of the researchers that we have done concluded that the average power consumption for a robot, okay, in the automation world as we look at it today, consumes between 100 and 120 watts, okay, on average. It means that if I deliver 500 watts, and that's the nice thing, I only need 120 watts to continue to power the robot as it goes, and the rest of it goes to charge either the battery or our own supercap solution on the robot. It means that I'm not a charging system, I'm a complete power delivery system. So it's both power and charging at the same time. Why is that very important? Because if I place those stickers in strategic places in the factory, in the facility, it means that only a limited number of stickers can power your entire fleet wherever it goes all the time. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Now I'm going to interrupt just for the audio only audience. I want you to think about this. You know, if you wanted to run your system, if you wanted to run your AMRs 24/7, you would have a huge fleet sitting somewhere charging all the time, right? They're not being used. They're just sitting there charging because when the ones currently on the floor need to go get charged, the ones that are all charged up will come out and do their thing. But here on the screen, I know you guys can't see this if you're audio only, but here on the screen, we have in each, think about a warehouse. We have in each aisle of that warehouse, we have a partial, not down the whole aisle, but part of the aisle, we have this sticker on the floor. It's like a, I don't know, like a mat or a rug that goes maybe 30% of the floor. And as the AMRs go over it or whatever devices you have, they're getting powered to move and getting charged up so that you don't have to cover your whole floor with this. And these robots, like you said, can just keep on going and going and going. So I apologize to interrupt. I just wanted to paint a picture for the audio only audience, and I'll turn it back to you, Noam.
Thank you so much for this comment. It's really important because, as you mentioned very smartly, Shawn, we don't need to cover the entire facility with those stickers. What we will do is we have a tool, okay, which is called a floor planner. That's a smart application with our own proprietary algorithm that basically allows you to upload your facility and the route that the robots do, or other data if you have like heat maps or something like that. And from this, okay, basically the algorithm will calculate where are the best places to place the sticker. Now, as you mentioned, Shawn, we don't need to cover the entire surface. So an application that consumes 100 watts and we deliver 500 watts means that basically for every second that it spends on CaPow, it can spend 4 seconds out of CaPow, right? Because of the ratio, 1:4. But if we are smart enough and we can identify either hotspots where the robot stops and does an operation like uploading or downloading some sort of weight, or discharging or induct feed, or we can identify highways in which those AGVs are running continuously. If we only target those ones, then with a very limited number of stickers, we can cover your entire operation. We even have a very good POC that we have done with a very large tier 1 operator in the US, that basically we showed him that with only 6 stickers, I can power 100 bot operation just because I place it in a strategic place.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah. Let's talk for just a second about the clear benefits that you have from this kind of a solution. First of all, and I think it's the most obvious one, 100% of your fleet works 100% of the time. It means no more spending capex on those 20% additional robots that are waiting, okay, to jump into the game while the other ones are getting recharged. Okay, so the fleet is reduced into the actual size. Okay, and you don't need to now calculate peak to average or something like that. Second of all, from many research that we have conducted, we see that 4 out of the 6 root causes that causes bots, okay, faults, they are actually the root causes is the battery, okay, starting from vibrations or overheating or something like that. The battery is a major problem causer for the bots. So no batteries, okay, or reduced spec batteries, less or no technical faults whatsoever, and of course increased safety. Okay, lithium ion batteries are basically hazardous material. I know that in the industry we are still very happy about the leap from lead acid to lithium. It seems like, you know, a whole different world, but you know, talk to customers that are already deploying lithium batteries for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, okay, the early adopters, and you will find out, okay, that there is a heavy burden over there as well, okay, to storing the batteries, to sending into refurbishment, to, of course, flying the batteries is forbidden.
I think we should also point out lithium batteries, look, they're great if you need to run all day, right? So I love having a lithium battery in my phone and my laptop because I need when I'm on the run, I need to have it run all day. But now if you can be plugged in or have CaPow where you're getting that power, that has to be a huge savings. I mean, we all know that the lithium batteries in an electric car take up about half the price of a car. So you can imagine the cost savings over a 10 or 20-year period. if you can replace that battery, since you don't need power for the whole day, since Kapow has their sticker right there on the floor charging you up, you could go to something like a super cap. Now, I know this is kind of a sidebar, but do you guide customers who want to maybe get the lithium battery out and put something else in? Do you guide customers with those decisions?
Of course. So it's a very good question. And basically, let me break it down to you. The strategy of CaPow. The strategy of CaPow is basically, okay, supporting your own strategy. What do I mean? Some of our customers say, listen, we just finished a design of the battery. We don't want to lose the battery. We want to keep the battery that we have, but we still want to have CaPow because we want to have 24/7 uptime and reduced fleet. For those customers, what I can offer them, okay, to go along with all the benefits that we have just spoken about, is that the CaPow solution allows the prolonging of the existing battery by up to 40%. Why is that? Because exactly as you said, when you need to charge lithium batteries, it's great. You plug them into power and then you charge them up with 2C, 3C. Okay, it means that it's really a power boost for the batteries. But batteries don't like to get charged like that. Batteries like to get charged slowly with half a C. Okay, they don't like to get charged to 100%, but only to 70%. So our solution basically allows us to decide exactly how and when we charge the battery. So if we can keep it on the right amount, we can actually prolong the life cycle of the battery. Other customers come and say, hey, your solution is so great that instead of a big 2K watt-hour battery, I want to reduce the spec to only, let's say, 350 watt-hour battery. Why? Because I don't need it. I don't need the big one. I can make do with the small one and just have a CaPow on the side. So you get the cost saving of reducing the spec of the battery. And for the ones that say we want to go fully CaPowered, as we say, with no batteries at all, okay, it means basically that you have no batteries, you have no logistics hassle. You can use our own solution that comes with a small power pack of supercapacitors. Why did we choose that? We are aware of the price of supercapacitors, but if the battery pack is small, okay, but it only gives you enough power to get from one sticker to another sticker, then it's the perfect use, right? So sometimes you can just make do with a 10 watt-hour supercap and not with a 2K watt-hour lithium battery. So you can enjoy all of those worlds. And for the customers that come to us, we just use the floor planner and we decide along with them, these are the options for you. Choose your strategy. We will support whatever you need. And of course, okay, our team is super experienced in those matters.
So to me, if you already have a fleet of robots with batteries, CaPow can help you extend the life of those existing batteries. But if you're designing a brand new facility, you may be able to go with small batteries or a super cap. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And we say that we of course support both new design but also retrofits. So if you already have a solution in place, it doesn't mean that you're dead in the water, right? So the CaPow can jump in and help you also with retrofits. Okay, so you can do all that we discussed right now. You can also do on retrofits as well. As we said, the entire solution should be headache-free for you guys. I'll just skip on the system architecture. It's very technical. The only thing I want to say from this very detailed schematics is we are completely modular. We can take modularly the DC input from the factory or an AC to DC one. And on the other side, whatever the robot needs, we will give it. If it's 24 volts, 48 volts, we will completely adjust ourselves to your needs. There is just a small comparison. I will not dive into the details right now. Shawn, you will be forever. Everyone who would like to get a presentation, of course, through you, we will gladly share it. But if we just look at 3 different ways of charging today, whether it's the contact charging that you use today, or wireless charging, a traditional one that mandates that you will come to a complete stop, and the CaPow solution, then I think the advantages are very clear. What we say is just continue on with your work, okay? Don't worry about going to a different place and charging. Don't worry about real estate that you need to confiscate from the actual operation in order to put your chargers in, and of course the lost yield because of that. Okay, don't worry about peak to average. Don't worry about opportunistic charging. Everything is built in to our power delivery solution. And on the technical side, of course, there is a comparison between the inductive way that most of the solutions currently deploy and our own capacitive power delivery system, which is enhanced by some proprietary patented modules that we have developed. Okay, but we can show much better performance indicators on the z-axis. So it means how far away can I be between the two antennas. Okay, from the temperature that I'm operating in, my solution is completely configurable and can work in minus 20 Celsius degrees and in 60 Celsius degrees. Okay, wow. Today, currently, lithium batteries cannot be charged under 0 degrees. So with the CaPow solution, there's no problem. And of course, other technical stuff like metal in field and misalignment, I will not go very deep into that, just to say, we come from technology, and we know technology, and we really spent a lot of many years into developing this exact technology.
You know, I'd like to just throw this out to the audience and ask, if you have an AMR application or AGV application that is in below 0C or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, I'd love to hear about it. I know there's a lot of automation and food packing and meat packing and preparation with lots of freezers. And I also know a lot of companies, you got forklifts going between buildings in the middle of winter all the time with product. So if anybody out there is listening, if you do have a like a robot application that's going either in below freezing or between buildings when it's cold out, I'd love to hear about it. Love to get you guys to write in. We'll talk about it on the show in the future. But in any case, go ahead. I'll turn it back to you.
Just to say, by the way, as you mentioned, the automation world is not just limited to logistics, right? So you have agrobots, for example, that work outside or work in greenhouses, okay, and then are exposed to extreme conditions. So also for those solutions, the agrobotic world, I think our solution is a perfect fit. And just as a general saying, I'll say that we love automation. Okay, we love this world. We come from that, and we developed our solution and tailored it exactly according to the challenges that this world is facing right now, and will also face in the future. We have several different business models from CapEx completely until energy as a service. But what I'm trying to say is we are completely flexible and modular on all aspects.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. Now, we should probably mention here, if people, how do people get more information? And let's talk a little bit about any shows you're doing.
Yeah. So first of all, we have our own website, of course, capow.energy. Feel free to visit over there. All the technical solution is over there about the company. You can meet our management staff and get lots of information on that. Follow us on LinkedIn as well. We post content. We have been exhibiting in ProMat last month, and we will exhibit again in Automate this year, booth number 6337. We will show a live demo over there of the solution for power delivery system to a robot. And we will also show a live demo of the floor planner tool. If you are there in Automate, come say hi. We'll gladly put your solution into the application. I will show you how the layout for you will look like. And just come and see Perpetual Power for yourselves.
Well, and I want to encourage, and I know a lot of you guys who listen to the show are going to Automate this year. I'm hoping to go as well. Don't know yet if I will be there, but please, if you do go over to CaPow and let them know you heard about their product on the Automation Podcast. It really helps us and the show grow. I mean, I think we're the #1 automation podcast in the world right now. We're on track for 150,000 downloads. And it's still early in the year. So please go and visit them. Let them know you heard about them on the Automation Podcast. And Noam, I just want to thank you again for coming on the show and really giving us an introduction to your product.
Shawn, thank you, and I also want to thank you. I think also on behalf of your audience to say how great having this podcast is for us. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I want to thank Noam for coming on the show and telling us all about their capacitive power systems. It looks like some really cool tech. Hey, if you're at Automate, check out their booth. With that said, if you did enjoy this episode, please consider giving us a like and a sub. And if you're listening to the audio-only edition, please consider giving us a 5-star review. It really helps us grow our audience and find new vendors to come on the show. Now, if you want to follow me and keep in touch, you can do so over at automation.locals.com. And if you're looking for any of my training courses, you'll find all of those over at theautomationschool.com. With that, I want to wish you all a very happy, safe, and healthy week. And until next time, my friends, peace.